Hello again guys, it's Carly from the Poetry of Nice, and today we're going to talk about things that I wish that I had known before I started reselling online. If you're new here, a great big welcome. This is a channel all about reselling online. I sell on 3 platforms at the moment, that is Poshmark, eBay and Etsy, and I sell everything from vintage hard goods to vintage clothing to modern day clothing and all kinds of stuff in between. I put out videos every other day on this channel showing you guys the things that I pick up, what those things sell for online, and all kinds of other content in between, like how-tos, day in the lives, tutorials, tips, all kinds of different stuff. So if that sounds interesting to you, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button down below, click the bell notification so you know when a new video comes up, and don't forget to say hi in the comments. We would love to have you come hang out with us. Okay, so I'm going to do things a little bit differently with this video. This is actually going to be an 8-part series. They're going to be small videos. I'm going to try not to waffle too much, but I've broken it up rather than doing one big video about all the things that I wish I had known before I started reselling online, because I kind of want to go into just a little bit of detail about each point and share with you guys not just my tips or my experience, but also maybe some resources along the way as well. Without further ado, let's crack on with video number 1 of this 8-part series. So today, the first tip that I'm going to share with you about reselling online and the things that I wish I'd known when I started is that you do not need to invest upfront in fancy equipment. It's tempting when we get started to think about all the things that we could need that would instantly better us. That could be lighting kits, that could be backdrops, that could be cameras, it could be software, all kinds of different things that we think that we need in order to be successful when selling online. But the truth is, keep it simple, keep it clean, keep it intentional and keep it consistent, and that is going to work just as well for you when you're starting out. I'm going to let you into a little secret. I have been selling online since 2015. I make a pretty darn good part-time income. If I went full-time, I'm pretty confident that I would do okay at that as well, but currently I am raising my baby, so this is how it works for me, and I have not invested in any special equipment to do with reselling other than my Dymo printer, which I will touch on just a little bit later. So I have a regular laptop. I do have a postal scale, which cost me about $9 on Amazon. I'm going to go ahead and link the things that I mentioned down below, just in case you want to see exactly what I use. But I do use postal scale, and I use that Dymo printer that I mentioned just a little while ago. I didn't use that for years. That's something that you absolutely do not need. So while I mention it in this video, don't feel like that's something you need to run out and buy. I invested in it because my quantity of what I was shipping every day had gone up, and honestly, it has made my life about 20 million times easier, so I'm glad that I got it, but it took me a while before I caved. And before that, I was just printing things out on paper, cutting them out and sticking them on. Don't feel like you have to invest in postal supplies necessarily. You can buy poly mailers on Amazon. They are very cheap. You can get patterned or plain, or if you're sending a lot of priority mail, you can get them for free from the post office. You can go online to the post office website, USPS.com, and you can select everything you want. I use a lot of padded flat rate mailers, and I use some boxes as well of varying sizes, like shoe boxes, board game boxes, and some of like the medium sized boxes, and occasionally flat rates. You can get all of those for free delivered to your door. You do not need to run out and buy lots and lots of boxes if you're planning on shipping priority mail with quite a lot of items. I have not invested in a lighting kit, not at all. I have one backdrop that I have on my floor, which is for when I do flat lays. That cost me, again, around the $10 to $15 mark on Amazon. I'll link something kind of like what I use down below so you can see what I'm talking about. That's just because I want to keep an area clean and consistent in my photos, and I do my photographs in the garage, so I really do need something that's going to spruce up that floor. A concrete floor probably would not work for me. And then when it comes to taking photographs like on a mannequin or hanging up or something like that, I have literally painted a section of my garage white, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about here. I painted a section bright white, I repainted occasionally just to keep it looking like fresh and clean, and then I put a hook up there for hangers. I happened to find a really nice wooden hanger at a thrift store, which I asked if I could keep it. They said I could, so I used that for my hanging garments. And I happened to find a dress form at a yard sale and I got it for $5. But if I hadn't have found one, I would probably not have gone out to invest in one, at least definitely not up front. Maybe once I got the ball rolling and I felt like I really needed to do that. But you can flat lay, you can hang, you don't need to be spending a lot of money right off the mark to really display your clothes in a beautiful way. When it comes to taking photographs, I do not have a specific digital camera that I use for my photographs, and I'm going to show you guys what some of those photographs look like so you can see what I managed to achieve without having to invest in photography equipment or lighting equipment and all that kind of stuff, just so you can see what I'm talking about. But I haven't bought a camera for that. I use my iPhone. I use my iPhone X is what I have now, but before that I used a 6 and then an 8. It worked just fine, and I always use it on the square mode on the photography app or whatever you want to call it, and that makes it everything the right size for listing on eBay and Poshmark. Etsy, it needs to be square. It's a little bit different. If you're wondering how I do my photographs for Etsy and kind of like rearrange them so that they fit the Etsy dimensions, then I'm going to go ahead and link my cross-posting video so you can see how I adapt those to fit that particular platform. But yeah, there's no need to rush out and buy a Canon or whatever. You don't have to do that. You can absolutely use your smartphone and still achieve some really nice quality photographs that are consistent with your brand online. And the last thing I'm going to touch on is storing items. So I currently have some very fancy totes, not really, but they were from, I think they were from either Lowe's or Home Depot. Unfortunately, they don't do them anymore right now, so I can't link them down below, but you can certainly Google what they are and see if you can find something similar. I'll have a look for you as well and link it down below if I find anything that is kind of comparable. But they are just plastic totes, and the doors happen to open outwards so that I don't have to unstack them to take my items out. I can just close the door and I can stack them high. It's super convenient when I'm pulling inventory that I have sold at the end of the day. Thing is though, I don't really need them. Like, I can manage. For about a year and a half before I bought those, I just had either large laundry baskets or large cardboard boxes that like maybe I got a delivery from or something like that. They were oversized. I kept them. I like scrolled on the front with Sharpie jeans, women's tops, men's tops, whatever it is, sportswear, whatever it needed to be. And it's not foolproof, and it did take me longer to pull items, I will admit that. I now have an inventory system that is like letters and numbers, and it allows me to find items almost immediately, unless I lose one, which happens occasionally, but almost immediately. It's very efficient in terms of pulling several items a day. However, it wasn't necessary for me when I first started. As long as I kept everything together, it was folded, it was clean, it was off of the floor, all that kind of stuff, and it was kind of categorized, then it absolutely worked. So please don't feel like you have to run out and do a massive, beautiful storage system. As nice as that is, that can come a little bit later on when you're more established in what you're selling online. And that's the end of my first tip about things that I wish I had known before I had started reselling online. I wish that I had known that I didn't have to buy some of these items right off the bat, and that I could wait and slowly reinvest my money, not only into inventory, but into an odd thing here and there that would maybe help me improve my business, but certainly wasn't the be all and end all of being able to be successful selling online. If this video is interesting to you, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up, and I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button so that you can see the rest of this series. I have 7 more tips coming your way, and I'm really looking forward to sharing those tips with you. Also, if you have tips or something that you would like to share, maybe a mistake that you made right at the beginning of reselling, or something that you either purchased or did that you really didn't need to do and you wish that you'd have had that kind of insight at the time, I would love to hear about it. I love hearing those stories. I'm still learning as I go, as are we all, and I think sharing our experiences, especially down in the comments and things like that within our community, is super important and super valuable to everybody. Alright you guys, I will talk to you soon, and I hope you have an amazing week, and thank you so much for hanging out. Bye guys.